And welcome to me not having my camera on. There we are. Hi. Hi. How are you? Are you feeling well today? Deep breath. Let it out. Deep breath. Let it out. It's the end of the week. We are now finally at the end of the week. Doesn't mean that my work stops, and probably doesn't mean that yours does either. But you can join me and you can sit here and we can all hang out. And I'll drink coffee and you can drink coffee, and we can, depending on where you are in the world, some of you guys are at night now, and so you guys can definitely join me and get some work done. So let's get started. There's no music. I hear music and there isn't any. There's no music. What happened to the music? Where's the music? There we go. Now we have music. Okay. I'm really crafting this scene. All right. All right. So that's all I want on that page. So, Steve Ditko, who was a comic artist, once said that you should put only 25 words per bubble. That's the maximum allowed before it becomes wordy and big. And I try to adhere to that as much as possible. And really what happens is I try to adhere to no periods in the dialogue so that the dialogue itself can So what you do is you break every thought process or every sentence into two. So you have one sentence, and that's in one bubble. Then you have the next sentence, and it's another bubble. But we are a techno babble heavy comic, so here we are. We are where we are. So I think everything from here is viable. Right? There. I don't think I care that it took together. Right? No, she has older mutations, one that we specifically changed in the early days of the Unity. She has genes that contain body hairs, degenerative brain diseases, and even mutative cell disorders. Right? And so, it was someone opening the... Yeah. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to change this line and craft it. Now she has older mutations, ones that we specifically changed in the early days of the Unity. I do like this here. We all have mutations, Doc. That's called biology. I mean, I like the fact that the captain's trolling the doctor a little on that. Okay. All right, we got to come up with a name for it now. What did I call it before? I called it something. Now we have to go to we're going to have to go to the You're going to purge. That's your whole plan. Yeah. Oh, we're having connection issues again. Now I got things that are street. George. You and me were disappearing. We were in the internet. Then we were gone. Then we were robots. Just robots. That's all we were. And then we came back slowly in the ether. And what did that teach us? As we slowly return to the internets, think that taught us anything? I don't think so. I think we didn't learn a single thing from that. You are a messy little cat. All right. As much as I love you up here, though, there's a problem, right? When you're up here, I'm not getting work done. But it's time for me to call the salon and talk to my hairstylist. And by hairstylist, I mean my niece, but All right. Yes. You're like, please scratch me more. Okay, you gotta stop messing with my phone. I love you. When you reach out, please don't reach out to my face with your claws extended, you goofball. Oh, hey there. How are you doing? Art URODBZ. Oh, you like Dragon Ball Z? I'm wondering whether that's part of your title or name. And that's awesome. This is George. George decided I can't work this morning because he wants scritches. This is a thing George does. I will be getting back to work in a minute, but first I'm indulging the cat because really, legitimately, he's a scritchable cat. Oh, you speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I speak Japanese, a little bit of Korean. Oh, okay, thank you. This is a stream where artists watch the stream and work while I work, so we can work together and encourage each other and talk to each other and tell stories and things. So if you are drawing, you can draw right now. I'll try to use... I am not drawing at the moment. I'm scripting. So I have to write another comic book. This is my newest comic right here. And the way I write on the pages of the comic. And then at some point I change them to a thumbnail. And then I use, this is called a thumbnail, which is a simple sketch that shows sort of what's going on. And then I put it on the big pages later. But this is my comic so far. And sometimes I have too much. I wrote too much. This is too much. So I have to make it smaller, which is what I'm doing here. I am making all of this smaller and simpler. So my comic looks normally like this. This is my comic. When done. This is a done page. But we're not here yet. This is number 1, and this is number 2. So we're still working on number 2. Oh, thank you. Sometimes other artists will join, and then you can see their work too, and we do that. So if you have work that you have to do, you can join me. And you can say things from time to time, and I will read it, and I will talk to you back. Unfortunately, I just don't speak Spanish. Wonder if I could get Google Translate to translate Spanish. I'm horribly curious. That's fine. I am a teacher. That's my job. I teach driving. I used to teach English. So I taught English in Japan. You're doing great. Good job. That's why I speak Japanese, but I don't speak Spanish. What country are you in? Voice? Yeah. Talk and translate. I can do that. I work tomorrow. All right. You're in Spain. Oh, Castilian Spanish. That's such a pretty, pretty Spanish, too. I love Castilian Spanish. It's different than Mexican Spanish, which is the Spanish that's around here, because I'm in the United States. So, I'll see you at bat? No, at. So yeah, I'm in the middle of the United States, almost very middle. I'm in a state called Colorado, which is Spanish for color red. And it's because there are rocks here that are red. They're like really, really not bright red, but they're sort of a dark red. A lot of rocks here. So they called the state Colorado. Hey, some user. Welcome to the show while we argue this. We're arguing over the script. Does it read it? Yes, it's color red, Dorado, because our rocks are red. Some user, Art URO DBZ, is in Spain. What, do you actually like listen? Let's see here. I am curious whether I can get an online voice translation into Spanish. My phone automatically switches to Japanese if it doesn't understand something, because that's my other language. It's drunkard. Art, some user is also in Europe. What if I just say, hello, how are you? It doesn't do anything if your volume's down. I mean, I can say that in Spanish, but I'm a girl. Wait. No, don't do that. Yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
There we go. What accent does she have? Does she sound Mexican or does she sound Spanish, like from Spain? I always wonder. Estoy bien. Ah, yeah. Huh. Yo también. I wonder what else I could do in here. Oh, I see. So the only Spanish you learned, some user, is from GTA. Modern technology. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. I hate to say this, but the only Spanish I know is from hanging around Mexicans here, because they'll speak English and then a little bit of Spanish, then English, then a little bit of Spanish. And so I'll pick up the Spanish from what they're saying, but it's probably mostly bad, I would assume, because it's my buddies, and you know how friends are when they're together, they say things that you're like, yeah, I can't say that on air. So it's that. All right. Mostly dubbed anime. Fair. I tried to learn Japanese from anime, and it didn't work. In the end, the only way I learned Japanese was to go there and stay in Japan for years. You know? Good. We all have something in common. Anime. Oh, hey, that's a question, some user. I'm curious. Do you say anime or do you say anime? We'll be here, Art. Take your time. Anime would be Japanese. Anime is English. US English, anyway. But flat A. Now you're trying to say it to yourself. That's totally what I do too. Somebody goes, wait, do you say this or this? And I'll be like, oh, hang on. I say it to myself. Right? You're like, oh, I can't think of it. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. That's fair. Anime is the word anime is nope. Hello. Right? Short for animation. Right? Animation. And they just took the shon off and made it anime. And so it's animation, which makes sense that anime would work because it's just still close. It's still short for animation. So that's a different kind of anime, as if it was a Swedish word, right? That's interesting. Of course, manga, because manga comics, the manga have existed since before American influence. Manga is spelled differently because it's spelled manga, right? Boy, I suck at that. Let's try that again. I don't know whether this radical is done that first or this one's done first. Huh. Not sure. And I can hear my students laughing at me now. My students used to laugh at me a lot about my writing because I wrote them out of order. And I said, ha ha ha, get back to me when you can write a paragraph. Nani mo. Nandon bidoshi da. Tell me about your bidoshi, the be verbs. To be or not to be. Bidoshi. Tonai bidoshi. I'm making jokes. Don't repeat my Japanese. I'm making jokes. I'm making slangy jokes in Japanese. All right. Okay, we were doing something this morning and I can't remember. Oh, yeah, I know what I was doing. I was doing something. I was going to my randomizers. And I was going to Cookie Twinkle Heart. Okay. Vanilla Fluff. Albedo Vanilla Fluff. These all sound like bad guys from Harry Potter. Just saying. I'm about to set something up here. But I think we're going to call this the Nyagu Nyaguthi Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of abandoned language. But I mean, that's true of any language. But Japan has a lot of really high level abandoned language that's prior to World War II that they don't use anymore. And employing it is more complicated than employing it gives you a lot of questionable looks. Like people are like, huh? It would be like me using thee and thou, which is old English, and we don't use that anymore, you know. Art thee happy, you know. Art thee not happy? Thou hast be happy, you know. That's just like weird English. It's like nobody uses that English anymore. We abandoned that in like the 1700s or the 1600s. So it's true. I'm sure that there's all kinds of wild words that you use in Swedish that is abandoned. Now, nobody uses those words anymore. You end up with interesting language that's abandoned. You know what I think is interesting, though? Every generation here in America has a word for something that's interesting or something that's fascinating. Like, I'm an 80s kid. I come from the 1980s, and we used awesome, right? That's awesome. That's really awesome, right? And now the kids are using that's sick, which I think is funny, but it's the way it goes, right? The language evolves. My dad in the 1950s, good morning, Can. My dad in the 1950s used cool. That's cool. And I used cool. That's cool. And my kid uses cool. That's cool. So it's interesting that that word has not changed. I find that fascinating too. Like, we all still use cool to mean interesting, you know, or okay. It can also mean okay. Like if you say, we're going to go to the restaurant this morning and, you know, have hamburgers, I'll be like, that's cool. And that means that's okay. You know what that means, though? That means that Swedish people are 80s people. And that makes me happy because I'm an 80s kid and I loved the 80s. So you and I, we are of the same, whatever you want to call that, generation. Nice. Yeah, that's true. Nice. That also means good or okay. The interesting thing about that is those words have a usage for something that you don't have a word for. German is really good for that because German has a technique of just throwing words together and making a new word out of 7 or 8 other words. You know, you end up with these massive words, but German, I think everybody's about 10 years behind us. I feel like Japanese pop music, it still sounds like early 2000s to me today. Except that pop music, I think America has been unthroned or dethroned. In other words, we no longer sit on the top of the hill. I think Korea is taking over. K-pop is starting to show up everywhere. And I have K-pop groups that I love now, which is cool. And I totally got into K-pop through J-pop, which is Japanese pop music, which never caught on around the world as much as K-pop has. But like people all over the world are starting to know about BTS and you know, Girls' Generation. Girls' Generation even has a name in Japanese, which I thought was interesting. Shoujo Jidai, which literally means Girls' Generation. But that's, you know, still interesting because that's where I discovered them. I didn't even know Girls' Generation was a Korean group when I first heard it because they introduced themselves as Shoujo Jidai. And I was like, okay, so that's Girls' Generation. Okay, no problem. I think they actually aren't called Girls' Generation in Korean either. I think they're like SNSD or something like that. So it's like BTS where they've got a nickname. So, okay, let's see here. I ran a couple of routine checks on her DNA since she likely didn't get proper care until now. And she has mutations. Doc, we all have mutations. That's called biology. Sure, but these are mutations humans had right up until the Nyaguthi protocol. She has genes for certain body hairs, degenerative brain disorders, and even mutative cell disorders. Wait, you're saying she has cancer? No, she's healthy. I'm saying she still has the genes for cancer. Welcome back, Art. You're having a frustrating morning, huh? City pop. You know, the interesting thing that we had in the 80s that did start taking storm was Europop, which mostly was German. But we got a lot of German songs here. Like one of my favorite artists of all time. Hey, you're doing homework. Good job. As a teacher, I tell you have to do homework. Because I'm still a teacher. So you have to do homework. But we'll keep you company while you do homework. So we'll be here with you. You can do your homework and we'll keep you company. We'll stay with you. Because I have to do homework too. It's just different homework. But yeah, Peter Schilling is one of my favorite artists of all time. I love Peter Schilling's work. I got hooked on Peter Schilling with Major Tom, which is a song that was in the 80s. And found out he had written 4 or 5 albums. Yeah, maybe only a couple of albums, but all of the songs on there were science fiction. And I loved it. All the songs were a science fiction story. Like Major Tom was science reality. Like, of course, it's about Komarov, which is a Russian astronaut. So SH, sorry. Shilling. Wait a minute. Is it? Hang on. SCH. Ish. But all of his songs are science fiction, or most of them are. It's okay. I'm talking fast, Art. I'm talking at normal speed for English. So I try to slow down for you, but some users' English is pretty solid. So yeah. He did work in the 80s and he did work in the 90s, Peter Schilling. So, Art, I'm talking about a singer from Germany who had songs that came to America in the 1980s when I was a kid. Peter Schilling is the name of the artist who sings good songs. His songs are, hang on. but his songs are space oriented a lot. So he does a lot of songs that are about space. Right? So he did a song called Major Tom, which is about an astronaut who goes up into space, but something goes wrong and he can't come home. But he also did a song, all of his songs are like that. Mm-hmm. Science fiction. Mm-hmm. Yes. I have. I have it on my hard drive. It's good music to. So there was a game once from the same group. So Jeff Wayne made a play called War of the Worlds, and then they made a video game called War of the Worlds, and they made music from that play to put onto the game. And I happened to have a friend rip the disc, so he took the music off the disc for me, and so it's one of my favorite musics to play when I'm working because it's pretty chill, but it's also science fiction. So some user, oh hey cat, some user, that's why Thunderchild, right? The Thunderchild. It was, but it's so popular that this is the Thunderchild in Star Trek. This is the USS Thunderchild. So Star Trek, actually, it's so popular that even Star Trek has a ship named after the Thunderchild. There were ships of shapes and sizes scattered all along the bay. Mm-hmm. Dead London's good. Yeah, my favorite one will always be the song about the Thunderchild. But I mean, you've been on my streams a lot. Okay, have fun, Art. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you later. Do your homework. Because I'm still a teacher. Have a good day. Bye-bye. All right. Back to work. Had kids joining me on the stream, had George up here wanting scritches. I've had lots of great distractions today. Reasons why you didn't get work done today. All right. You were saying something about me being on the stream a lot. I was saying about me being on the stream a lot, yes. George has been on the, although he walked away. I don't know where he went. Open the window a little. That'll make him come in. He likes to look out the window. Yeah. Well, okay. So, Art, URODBZ is in Spain and working on their homework while watching. And practicing their English because I don't speak Spanish, and neither Mexican or Castilian. And some user is in Sweden. And so, Sweden. Yes. I have a problem. Sweden and Switzerland. I will reverse those two. I know which country is which. I can see them in my head. But the words get flipped all the time because of the SW. Oh well. Anyway, some users hangs out with me routinely. Has been here quite a bit. Art is new today. So, we've been talking a little bit about language. Yeah, it's the SW. So, some user in my head, I have what's called aphasia. Aphasia is a mental disability, which names are sometimes lost. Words are just lost. We have an actor who's suffering from degenerative aphasia. His name is Bruce Willis. And that means that the aphasia is getting worse and worse. And as he grows older, he loses more words and he can't say things. But for me, it's part of attention deficit. So it's part of ADD. And my aphasia affects me with weird things. Like I can't remember, like Can, I know his name in real life and I can't remember it half the time. Like I'll say, so we were hanging out with, and I can't remember. I remember it better if it's a nickname, weirdly. So, it's a thing. There's a difference between Swedish people and Swiss people, though. Although Swiss makes good chocolate. Belgium. Man, Belgium chocolate. Oof, that's good stuff. I travel the world on my stomach. So there's that. Anyway, so right? IKEA furniture is like a thing. So, well, and Switzerland has a lot going for it. I mean, let's talk about their flag. Their flag's a plus. It's a dad joke. I had to do a dad joke. Right. Yeah, I tried to say that before. And I remember that I couldn't say it very well. Or no, I said it okay. I don't remember. I should feel bad, but I don't. Did I lose Kat, or are you just hanging out here and being quiet? I hope I didn't lose you. Yeah, España. It's like Mexico is Mexico. Oh, good. And Japan isn't called Japan in Japan. in Japan in Japanese is Nihon. That's all right. You can be distracted, buddy. You're here. It's all good. I don't mean to be. I just didn't want to scare you away. That's all. Nihon. Mm-hmm. And this is two characters, which this is origin or source, and this is sun. So, ni hao. Ni hao is Chinese for hello. Ni hao. It sounds close. Nihon. Oh, good. That is interesting. That is really interesting. China in Chinese is kind of cool too, because it's the character for middle and then the character for kingdom. So it's middle kingdom, right? I think that's cool. So it's the land in the middle. Whereas Japan is quite literally the origin of the sun, or the land of the rising sun. I think that's cool too. Californian, which sounds almost like you're saying the person. See, this is the aphasia. There's a word for this. It's moniker. No, it's not moniker. Demium. That's what it's called. It's called a demium. Right? So, people from Sweden are called Swedes. That's their demium. People from Colorado are called Coloradans. That's our demium. The word means, and it's really weirdly spelled too. It's a strange word, which means probably Greek. It's demi. No. Demi. No. See, now I'm not sure anymore. No. I like the fact that people are arguing over whether we're Coloradans or Coloradoans, which is funny. Oh, for crying out loud. Demonym. Demon YM. That's it. Demonym. A demonym is the name you call yourself. Hello over in YouTube. You have an icon over in YouTube. That's cool. You have an avatar. Yeah, so Cat's talking about one of the long-standing arguments. Coloradans call themselves Coloradans without the O. But everybody outside of Colorado likes to call us Coloradoans, and we don't go by that. And so you can always tell the natives, people who are from Colorado, because we'll say Coloradoans, and we'll say Coloradans instead of Coloradoans. So the other thing is our accent, the Coloradan accent, has a really flat A. So you'll hear other people call it Colorado like that, and we call it Colorado with a flat A. That A is really flat. It's like, you were born here and you thought it was a Coloradoan? I've never heard it be called Coloradoan. We've never called it Coloradoans here. Cat, what kind of native are you? Yeah, those Colorados. Colorado sounds like a plural. So Colorados would be like mini states of Colorado. There's 14 Colorados in the United States, Hello. Strudel? Well, Strudel does doodles. I love your name. I dig that. Yeah. So, Kat, it's not just you. Actually, I'm looking up our demonym. It looks like many people have this argument, even here. So, what do I know? How are you doing? Strudel does doodles. You know what? I don't usually say people's full names, but man, I love your full name. It's so fun to say. South Dakota. Yeah. We're talking about the demonym for Coloradans. Yep. Because, of course, we're in Colorado, so I'm in Colorado. And so is George, my cat, who is somewhere in here. Yep. Yeah. Strudel does doodles. I am an artist. Question. It doesn't look like it because what I'm doing is scripting. But I'm an artist. I am an artist. My comic actually looks more like this. This is what my comic looks like. But this is the first comic, and I'm in the middle of scripting up the second comic. So that's this mess. Like photorealistic art, that's hard and cool. It took me weeks to get stuff like that figured out. What's your medium? Photorealistic fluff. You could totally... Oh, you're digital. Yeah. You could totally draw my cat. Because he's a fluff. I mean, it's just a thing. George is here somewhere. Oh, hi, George. You're over by the door. Like, I wonder... I'll open the door so that George can look outside. Where is George? And he's by the door, of course. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Cat's a traditional manga style artist like me. I say traditional, we're both digital too. It's just that you guys can talk for a minute. I am not doing really well on the work thing this morning. I am so scatterbrained. Okay. Back to this page, we are crafting the script. The script says, no, she's healthy. Just has the genes for cancer. I do have a Discord. My Discord is, hang on. Woof, woof, woof. I'm gonna fire off Discord. Are you looking for the Quack Discord or Cat's Discord? Jump. Goodbye, chat. Jump. Goodbye, chat. Because I can invite you, or I can copy the link. That's what I'll do. I will copy the link in. Oh yeah. So you want this Discord? Because that's the Quack Discord. I have to press invite. Do I actually have to press invite? I mean, I can create an invite, but I don't know. Because I don't. It says invite friends though, or send a server invite. Mwah. Here, let's see if that's the same thing. Because it copied. That's what we're looking for. The server invite. Now I figured it out. There you go. Everybody. There you are. Hey, I can wave. I'm going to wave. What is that? Oh, I'll wave to it. Wow. I get a new one for each one. This is kind of cool. Hey, yo. Oh, and look at that. You guys are over on the Discord channel, and it's coming in through the Discord channel. Kick butt. We win the internets. I don't think if you post pictures on the Discord channel, the pictures come through. So what I've been doing with my night stream, we have somebody who comes on the night stream, and she's been posting her art in there too. So it said click to say hi. So, oh, I've been invited to join my own server. That's nice of it. But these pieces here, this one and this one, are from somebody who's on our night stream. Oh, look at that. Look at all that fur. That's so much fur. I feel like I want to touch it and fluffy it. So awesome. What you need to do is when Ken gets on here later on, you can talk to him about it, because he actually runs a farm. So there's that. So sweet. All right. Kick butt. All right. So you run a cattle ranch. Sounds fair. He runs a farm with alpacas. So I have to make alpaca jokes all the time, like alpaca you a lunch. And I can't help myself. Alpacas are adorable and fluffy, and I feel like I'm required to make jokes about alpacas. See, you have a big ranch, like a small army of cows and horses. which is cool. All right, so as I was telling everybody else, this is a channel which um, its original design is if you are doing artwork or homework, because I think that right now art is doing their homework. If you're doing homework or anything like that, and you need somebody to just hang out with you to kind of keep you together and keep you on target, that's what this stream is about. I stream twice a day, once in the morning from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock Mountain Time, and then once at night from 10 o'clock to midnight Mountain Time. And people join me, and hey, Sarge, you're here and you're gone. It's fine. So I stream twice daily, every day except for weekends. Like I won't stream tonight because I'm hanging out with friends, and I won't stream tomorrow night because it's my D&D night. But Sunday night through Friday morning, I stream, and you can join me every time if you want. You can join my channel. It's at GS Davis Art, which for some reason is not up here anymore. I was going to fix that, wasn't I? I totally was going to fix that. Let's see. So we have the daily. There we go. Way back up there. Daily show. Because I think I need a different size. Oh, shoes. There. I'm going to take and make a new. So last night, cat stream with us instead of in the duck pond like she is right now. On stream with us, and I noticed that. Yeah, I'm way down. Out. It literally is dropping me. There we go. I don't know what's going on today, but that's the second time we've had a drop all the way down like that. Yep. That's the second time it did that this morning during the show. So I don't think it was on my side. It was totally, I mean, although, you know, but I think that I'm still getting the warning that says some of my streams are having connection issues. So might just be something I deal with today. Yet another thing that's, you know, a problem child. Yeah, you had great timing But over on the left side, you've been on restream, and you'll be on again. Actually, won't be bad if you were on stream too, Kat. When I crash out like that. Oh, I like that piece too. It's very prophetic. I like this piece. I like purple. Good job. If you join me, Kat, then when I start to explode, which apparently happens a lot, it won't be so bad. You know what I should do? Uh-huh. That's what I thought. Really? Let's see here. Hang on real quick. You really didn't want to make this bigger, did you? Just don't want to help. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, nice. Strudel doodle. I like strudel doodle. Yeah, there's cat stuff. Everything right to the face. To the face. Paching. Boka. I like the fact that you're putting all of the sound effects in Japanese, Kat. That cracks me up. There we go. Now I know what to change on here. I have a shade of perfect blue, and that's you. So we're going to do that, which is not to be confused with the anime perfect blue, which is terrifying and horrible and scary. Do you know when napalm? Not sure what that means. There. Okay. I like leaving the time up here, so I'm going to put this around the time. I'm unsure how we got to Juno and Napalm. Oh, I also like leaving the weather on here. It's a nice. Are you use what brush are you using for that? There. That's a Krita. Mm-hmm. On the Krita app. Yeah. That makes sense. The sticky styrofoam gasoline weapon. That sounds like napalm. Yeah. So, yeah. Outline the selection. Draw on the border. We'll do that. That way it doesn't eat up much, but it eats up something. What's everyone's art goals this weekend? I work tomorrow. I'm teaching up in Evergreen, so I'll be in Evergreen tomorrow. So that's a thing. But I'm hoping that I can finish the scripts out. It's my goal for the weekend. Let's see, I should probably not have that in this font. I should have it in the other font. Ooh, principles of weight. Pretty heavy stuff you're doing there. This is how you don't get people donating to your cause. I can't help myself. It's compulsive. I'm a dad. Patreon.com. Patreon. There we go. Make this white. Put it up here. So last night, Kat was on stream, and I noticed you had this great, bracket around your name, and I was like, oh man, around your work, and I was like, I should do that too. So I'm doing that now because it looks cool. I think it doesn't. I've got the little guy down there on the bottom, so I just kept it simple too. But I realized that you can't. If somebody were to be like, oh, you know what? I'd really love to give you $1 million. Well, I guess you can't because you didn't have a thing that worked. So I'd be like, say as, and we put it in. Hey, the artist. Here's a thing called Daily Show. Make it a PNG and say Daily Frame. Put it here. Sources. Add a source. Image. Daily frame. And I'll find it wherever the heck I put it, because I put it somewhere and I'm sure it's important. Bleb, bleb. Daily show. Daily frame. Fork. Right? Not that hard. Okay. There we go. Then I can go to the next one, the drawing monitor, and do the same thing. Sources, add image. But now I can say add existing daily frame. And then the work desk, when we're over here, which we're not over here right now. Sources, add a source, image, add existing daily frame. Then that way I can switch between all of these and it says the same thing. Oh yeah. I love telling those stories from days of long ago. From uncharted regions of the galaxy comes a legend. The legend of Voltron. What do I have that? I don't know if I've ever shown you guys my coolest prized possession that I'm working on refinishing. Hang on. Legend of Voltron. As Voltron's legend grew, peace spread through the galaxy. So look at this. This is a background from AD Police / Bubblegum Crisis. This is one of my favorite things. I'm going to put it in a different frame. So this frame didn't treat it well. So I bought a new frame for it. Check on that crap. And put it over there. since I'm clearly not doing my work like I'm supposed to, since things are clearly falling off the chairs, peace, read through the galaxy. On planet Earth, a galaxy alliance was formed, together with the good planets of the solar system, because Pluto has always been a bad planet. I mean, like, you can't get Pluto to do anything you want it to. It just never will. Are you familiar with it? No, this one. Are you familiar with this anime? That anime is one of the earliest ones. Meat Police, Bubblegum Crisis. So I got a better frame for one that fits better. And is UV protecting, which I was slightly shocked to find out that even here in the middle of my office, I seem to have problems with UV protection. I was not ecstatic about that. Yep. Kenichi Sonoda is the artist from Bubblegum Crisis. And so you can definitely see the you can definitely see that. Is that damage to the cell? Easy. But the coolest part is this painting still has the registration marks up at the top. If you want to talk about an interesting thing about animation, is the way that the registration works. So when I build cells, you can see that my cell paper matches the registration marks on the back of this background. So I know exactly where to lay this so as to get my cells lined up. Right? I have a cell registrar over here. I just forgot where I put it somewhere safe so you can get it, but I think so too. I think that was Sonoda's first job in the industry as well. So, all right. So let's go ahead and pull this aside temporarily while we prep this. It's just like that. That's all that is. they don't, the other one, these don't turn to the side. They were another one that I used to use that turns to the side. Oh, yeah, no, it's fine. You're not bothering me. Everything is cool. I can't read what you're saying when I'm over here. So, but the jeweler's tools, like this, it gets to me. A piece of paper is being used. Just a piece of paper. There we go. I don't need your assistance. Nor do I want your piece of paper. All right. Now what we'll do, take this guy. Let's see if he fits. He's not. He's off by a fraction of a millimeter. And the question really is, am I willing to do, because it's just white down here, am I willing to cut off about 2 millimeters? It's like the bottom. I think the answer is yeah, I think I probably should. Because it's not coating well in here. So we'll cut off just the very, very bottom. Alrighty. I'm over here getting tools. Where are all metal cubes? Why would they do this? Weird. All right. Yeah, that's a thought process. Like, should we cut it or should we not? It only needs 2 millimeters cut off of the bottom. There is nothing in that 2 millimeters. There's no art. There's nothing in there. So that becomes the next question. Do we or do we not? I think for right now, I will wait. And we'll go back to work for our remaining 20 minutes. Because I think you're right. I'll have to think about that, whether I want to do that or not. It is a piece of history. And I feel like yeah, maybe I'll just go buy a bigger frame. That's probably a better, safer protocol. No, no, I am not going to disagree with you at all on that one. I definitely agree with you on that. Most certainly. Okay. I think we should try to finish up this page. Because I think this one's killing me on just trying to figure out what the heck I'm trying to say here. All right. Because I think you are absolutely right. I think it's probably a good idea to not mess with it at the moment. So that sounds like a good thing. Okay. Okay, so I ran a couple of routine checks in her DNA since she likely didn't have a healthy upbringing until now. And she has mutations. Doc, we all have mutations. That's called biology. Sure. But these are mutations humans had right up until the Nyunguthi protocol. She has genes for certain body hairs, degenerative brain diseases, and even mutative cell disorders. And then Chang says, "Wait, you're saying she has cancer?" And he says, "No, she's healthy. She just has the genes for cancer." I feel like this is a moment where there's a great line in Firefly where um, where they're all sitting around the table and Wash says something like, so you're saying she's psychic, talking about River. And he goes, that sounds like science fiction. And Zoe turns and says, you live on a spaceship, dear. I mean, and I love that line so much because it's so meta. But on the same token, I like the idea of thinking about where people are in the world and they speak normally about the things around them that they see. There we go. I'm not following, Doc, so she must be from the Silver Cove days. Probably spent a lot of time creeping through space at light speed. Then he can say, no one left Silver Cove before the Goofy protocol. Skipper. She has to be from Earth before the war. There we go. That reads correctly and says a lot of what was going on up here in this upper chatter. No one left Silver Cove before the Neogathi protocol skipper. She has You'll never know whether I'm coming back or not because I'm too busy making noises like I'm gone. Yep, the connection died and came back. I'm doing the making the noises when it goes away. And would she call it soul? Yeah, she'd call it soul. Three 4.9. That's hard. The math doesn't add up. Seoul is 335 light years from here. She either traveled at 99.99% C and left Earth 200 years after the war, or she traveled at 60% C and spent 380 years on board. Okay, that's smaller. I've gotten it down to one phrase. So part of what we have to do today is here was the original text that belonged in these pages. That's too much. There's too much chunkiness here. It's too crunchy, right? All of this has become this, this, and this. Now we just have to leave the scene. As I was saying with Kat last night, what was the goal of the scene? The doctor needed to tell the captain these things, two things. The goal of the scene is to express those two things. What happens when we leave the scene? The doctor doesn't feel well about this. He's uncomfortable. Something's not right. There is something wrong with the scene. So that's what's going on here. Okay. That feels more natural. These two pages feel a lot more natural now, right? These two pages are feeling a lot more like two human beings talking instead of a bunch of technobabbles spewing out at things. Okay, so exiting the scene. What does the doctor say that makes it, as I was saying to Kat, what's the mystery that I want to put on page 18? Part of the reason why this is such a heavy, important part of the script for me and why we're paying so much attention to this is the end of the first 16-page unit. And for me, and this is not for everybody else, this is just the way I do my comics, I try to make all of my 16-page units, as a, like a chapter. So all the chapters are 16 pages, and there are 2 chapters to an issue, right? So this is the end of this chapter, and I kind of want to assume that someday you might put this comic into a compilation, like a Shonen Jump or something like that. If it's a Shonen Jump type thing, you're going to want to give a reliable 16 pages every time. So the first 16 pages would be group 1 for, let's say, January, and then people would read the second 16 pages in February, and that'd be the end of the issue. And then in March, they'd read another 16 pages, and that would be the beginning of the second issue. And then in April, they'd read the second 16 pages. But either way, I want to end with just a little bit of a lilt so that you're like, oh, I want to know what happened there too. So I've got to word what the doctor says, clearing out of here, as in, this is a mystery, and I'm not sure why there's something wrong here. One of the things I do want her to say is this line right here. I like this line a lot. Because that line is very, very useful. It explains a lot about the culture that's here. right? And it's something that will be coming back. It's a little small to read. I'll get to it. Hang on. It'll be something we're coming back to um, when we go to the next episode. The next episode is called Sakura, and we talk about budget, and that's an important thing. So she says, okay, so her parents were bad at budgeting their real time. It's rare, but not unheard of. Hell, we have a few captains in the fleet that aren't good at that. We're talking about real time budget. So part of the technobabble here is that there is something that every captain must do, and that is budget the amount of time that they are traveling close to the speed of light. Because when you do, you'll have what they call time dilation, right? As the faster we go, the slower our time is on board the ship, right? So you do what's called real-time budget. You budget your amount of real time that you're in at light speed. You want to be very, very careful not to spend too much time at light speed because it's part of the budget. So anyway, all we're saying here is that what she's saying is the math doesn't add up. In order for the ship that has the girl on it to have been from Earth, it would have to have been traveling near the speed of light for 500 years, right? But that puts it at 500 light years. That's not Moment. Moment is only 335 light years away. So what she's saying is the math doesn't add up. See you later, Cat. Great to see ya. The math doesn't add up. Dang it. There we go. But people screw up that all the time. They screw that up a lot in my story. They screw up their real-time budget all the time. Right? Like we do, some user has launched a spacecraft that's unmanned, but something went wrong and it didn't jump to in space. So it stayed in normal space at like 0.999 the speed of light. So 3 nines in. That puts it at really, really, really fast. It's functionally light speed as far as we are concerned. So then I jump into the system and some user calls for help and says, help me. I've launched, yeah, you really have this problem, man. We've got to talk about this. You say, I've launched this thing and it's going too fast and I have to stop it. Please go stop it for me. Okay, well, I can do that, but that's going to be a real space travel, right? Because I'm now going to have to, I can't jump to in space. I can't go to warp. I have to do it all in system. So now I have to chase your missile, which is going very fast. I have to chase it. And when I do, I'm going to end up at 0.9999 speed of light. And when I do, every hour that I'm at that speed is 3 weeks in real life. So the longer it takes me to get to your missile and slow it down, the more I'm going to have distorted time. And that's called a real-time budget. So anyway, okay, yes, Gunbuster, that was the best. Gunbuster is, by the way, one of the best anime for understanding time dilation and things. That last battle, when they're trying to get the Excellion up on speed and trying to have it destroy all the bad guys, man. And they were in Buster Machine 1 and 2, and they're flying along, and Amano looks over, and the time is just going by really fast, and she's like, oh no, it's been 1 week back at Earth, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then she decides she can't do it. She has to slow down. And then that's when Noriko has to like snap her back and bring her back. You've got a mission. And then they moved really freaking fast at that point because they came back to Earth way in the future. And so that was, I love Gunbuster. But time, moving forward in time is common. Finding people that are 500 years old or whatever. Yes. 11, 20. There. That's my buddy Alex, who is working all the time, except apparently today. I don't know. So he wants to go for a walk, which is fine. I want to go for a walk too, so I'm going to go do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a walk, do something healthy. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. 7 degrees Celsius outside. Sun is shining. There's no humidity. It's a lovely day. It's just being a perfect Colorado day. So I'm going to go for a walk. That's what I like to do. Anyway, all right, folks. So I wanted to say thank you for being here. Strudel Does Doodles, who took a nap a while back and I missed it. And of course, Kat, who is here, and some user. And also want to make a shout out to Art, who was here earlier. And from Spain, I hope you got your homework done. And that's awesome. I hope to see all of you guys again. And we've had a wonderful, wonderful day, but I'm going to go for a walk. So, as I oft say, I will see you guys Sunday night, local time. And you're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Stop launching missiles at close to the speed of light, though. We have to talk, you see. That's a bad habit. It means I have to keep fetching them. And it's just, Anyway, it's good to talk to you all. I'm glad you were all here today, and I'll see you on Sunday night. And as always, keep your eyes to the stars. Goodbye.